Hook.
Oh yeah,
That
great
Hook
movie.
got crapped on. And now, like today, and you can make the argument that the people today grew up with it, so they have a different
Right.
perspective. But people today are like, man, the movie was awesome. But at the time, people hated that movie.
I would have loved to have seen that in the theaters when it came out, just to be like, wow, this is this
Right.
much of an epic movie. And then you could
Yeah.
tell it's also Spielberg's passion project as well back then.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to do it, but then he just like, well, it didn't make its money what it's supposed to, but I like how it's gaining attention 30 years later.
Well, and then you see the versions of Peter Pan they've done since then. It's like
Yeah.
the one in the early 2000s with the I feel bad calling him the little blonde kid, but I don't know what his name is.
Which
And
one was
then Jude, I think Jude Law played Hook, if I remember correctly. Oh, I'm not gonna now. I gotta look it up. Peter Pan 2003. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that came out. Jeremy Sumpter played Peter Pan. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason Isaacs played.
Oh, okay.
He played Captain Hook. That was pretty good, but it was just a retelling of the same story.
That's true. It was, and I think the one Jude Law you're mentioning is this year's version. Right. Yeah, which I didn't know was a live action remake of the cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
If anybody wants to go through my archives, I did a whole like review of it, and I broke it all down. And I love Peter Pan. I even looking back, it sucked, but that movie Pan, did you watch that?
I don't think I've seen that one. No.
Had Hugh Jackman played.
Oh, where he played Captain Hook. Yeah.
He was Blackbeard.
Oh, okay.
It was like a prequel where Peter just gets there to Neverland, and Captain Hook, or he's just James Hook at this time, and he's like got both hands, and I didn't like I didn't like the actor.
Okay.
Some of it was like, it's like I get what you're going for, but it's corny.
They tried to recreate that. I don't know if you remember when they first introduced Captain Hook in Hook, and they do the whole here's the hook.
Oh, right.
They tried doing that with Hugh Jackman, but the kid, it's like all the Lost Boys are like his slaves, basically mining for pixie dust. It's really stupid. But as he's coming out, they make them in a cappella sing in a creepy way. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh my goodness.
You can YouTube it. It's like at the time I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like I'm in the theater, I'm like not thinking too much about it. Looking back, I'm like, that was dumb. It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know, the new one, man. Like there was so much wrong with it. Like they put a lot of like obviously Wendy is like looking back at it, even though it's Peter Pan, like Wendy's kind of supposed to be the focus, because she's the character that changes the most in the story. I didn't see, I don't know, the character arc I saw from her in Peter Pan and Wendy was not good in my opinion. And some of the character dynamics were drastically changed. Tinkerbell was just like Ex Machina Tinkerbell. Like, oh, we need pixie dust. Quick, where's the fairy?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind it. I mean, Disney just released it on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, it's okay. It's a good thing they did that, because I don't think it would have made its money at the theaters. It would have just bombed, and then Disney would have lost more money.
Yeah.
I mean, Jude Law was fine as Captain Hook. I didn't mind it. You know, I feel like when any movie casts a villain of that nature, it's like, who can you get? And he did a good job.
Right. I also didn't mind the aesthetic changes to him as well. I didn't like the change to the backstory of Hook though, because then I was like, why am I supposed to cheer for Peter Pan now? Like I feel like Hook has a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I started missing my mom, so he told me to get the F out of Neverland. And then when I tried to come back, he cut my hand off. Like, dang, dude.
Yeah. Very different than what it used to be.
Yeah, like, well, screw Peter now. And, like, Peter was just kind of an ass throughout the whole thing. And he kind of was, looking back at the original. Yeah. But he softened up after a while, and you got the like I got the feeling in the original it was like he's just he's a little kid that didn't really have a role model growing up. But in this one, it's like he was also kind of useless when you think about it. Like when he comes to save them on the ship, it's like, yeah, but Wendy's already kicking everybody's ass. Like, why do we need Peter?
Yeah, it's like that was just a writer's subplot that they had to just throw in there just to see what would happen, I think.
Yeah, they were like, oh, Peter's here. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, it's like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah,
Wendy's
and
got it under control.
he couldn't even fly there for a bit, so
Yeah.
Wendy had to, or Tinkerbell had to sprinkle him with more pixie dust. Like, okay. And then at the end, like the final blow to make you hate Peter Pan was when Peter Pan tells Hook when he's about to fall, he's like, just think happy thoughts. He's like, I don't have any. And it's like, yeah, because you stole them all, you little doofus. Like,
Yeah, it was just a bad movie all around. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, I don't think Disney hires people that understand character arc anymore.
Oh no, absolutely not.